Hey guys, we're back with a new video. So in today's video, we're going to be unboxing and setting up the Bambu Lab A1 combo. It prints 4 colors and it's pretty awesome. Let's check it out. Alright, now just like the X1 Carbon, it has this nice packing material on the top here. Rip the plastic, open it up, pull out this bubble wrap that they stick in there. And this is our PEI sheet, and it looks like maybe our quick start instruction. And this has the same exact build volume as the X1 Carbon. These plates are actually interchangeable. Now the great thing about Bambu Labs is everything is packed absolutely perfect. They always give you this little surprise deal with these printers. This is a LED lamp kit, so you can probably go to Maker World, download this model, print it, and this is the little LED kit that goes inside of that lamp. So that's pretty cool. The A1 combo does come with filament samples. Also in the box is the stand for the AMS Lite. Looks like we have all of our spool adapters for the AMS Lite. There's 4 of them. Take all those out. There's a toolkit. They're really good about including toolkits and all the necessary extra parts for the printer. And we can pull this foam out. Power cord, pull that out. This is the little cleaning tray for the nozzle. We have our actual AMS. Pull this layer out, and then we get down to the printer. Now we can remove the upper frame of the printer here. Big old fat desiccant pack in here. Looks like we have our PTFE tubes and some PLA Basic, a little filament sample they give you. And then here's the actual base of the printer. And I believe that's everything that we need out of this box. Let's just double check here, and then we can get this out of the way and start assembling the printer. So our very first step, once we have this all unboxed, is to take our build plate, and the back corner of this build plate actually fits into here. This is really nice about Bambu printers. They have a little guide, so your build plate goes in the same spot practically every single time. Now you're gonna need the toolkit that came with the printer. We'll open this up, and you're gonna need the H2 Allen key. Well, it does not have a number on it, but it's H2 is basically your 2mm Allen. It's the larger of the 2 that are in here. All right, our next step is to flip this up on its side. There are 4 screws on here with red markings. We actually want to remove the Allen screws from those marked holes. And these are the screws that lock the heat bed in for shipping. Once we remove those 4 screws, the heat bed actually can move back and forth now. At this point, we're going to take the base assembly and we're gonna move this out of the way. And then we're gonna take the upper portion of the printer and we're gonna place it here just like this. And if you have a pair of filament cutters, now's a good time to grab them. We'll remove the tape off of here so we can get our wires loose. Just gonna move this off to the side like that. Our next step now is to take the base assembly and we're gonna actually slide this carefully through the inside here, and this fits down directly in there just like that. Bambu's really good about packaging everything really nicely, and we need to remove these zip ties, this cardboard piece here, and then all of the remaining zip ties that are on here we need to remove. Pull out this film and any foam blocks that are in here. And all of this is just to ensure that the printer doesn't get damaged during shipping. So we'll pull the foam out. We're gonna remove the ties from the opposite side. We'll remove the foam block, this clear plastic film that they have on here, and then pull the zip ties out of here carefully. There's one more zip tie on the very end here where the print head is. Our print head and extruder can move freely. Okay, now that we have all of that packing material removed, we're gonna spin the printer to the side. Our next step is to slide the heat bed all the way forward, and then if you lift up on the back here, this plastic piece in the center actually slides out. Now, you're gonna need your toolkit and this little bag of screws right here. It says for base housing. Using your H2 or 2mm Allen, you want to install 10 of these screws at each of the green marked holes. And then we'll go through after we have them all kind of snug, and we'll just make sure that they're all equally as tight. Now you'll have 3 remaining screws. You need 2 of them, and we'll slide the print bed all the way to the back. And we're gonna take the printer now, and we're gonna turn it this way. And there'll be 2 more holes here that require these same exact screws. At this point, we can slide the heat bed all the way to the front once more, and then we can take that cover that we removed in the previous step, slide that into place, and make sure it's re-engaged with the base. Now we want to take our printer and lay it on our work surface so that the bottom is facing out towards you, and we will take the connector that connects to the upper portion of the printer. We'll remove it out of this bag, and what we need to do now is we need to connect it inside of here. Everything is color coded, and this gray plastic piece here actually clicks into here. There is a USB-C connection that we want to click into place. Then you'll see this green marked connector. We're gonna push that in to the X motor, and then this white connector, we're gonna go into the camera. Now Bambu's really, really good about marking everything out on their printers. Now you notice this little piece here that I kind of bent off to the side. That is for the Z motor. So we're gonna pull this little black tape off of here, and then we're gonna feed this wire up through this little channel here. Okay, now we got that through there. Now we wanna fish this through this channel in this piece here, and make sure that it's in there all the way, and then we can click this cover back on. And then all we do is we simply take this one that's marked orange, and we will plug that into where the Z motor connector is. Once all of those connectors are in place, there is a 2mm screw that holds everything together. Now we can take our printer, set it back on the base, we'll slide the build plate to the middle. We can flip our screen off to the left. There is a little protective cover on it. Also, your micro SD card holder has a little piece of tape over it. Now we want to connect our purge wiper, and there's a channel here on the left side of the rail that this slides into. It slides in from the back side, and then we'll need the M312 screw. It's actually marked purge wiper. And then that screw goes up underneath, and you tighten it again with the 2mm Allen. Our next step is to assemble the AMS Lite. So we're gonna need the stand and the AMS unit, and we're gonna need the bag that says for AMS stand. Now to mount this on the stand, if you look at the motors here, the feed motors, you want the 1, 2, 3, 4 going from left to right. We'll mount this in the stand here, and then we can use those 4 screws from the AMS stand bag and tighten them into these holes. Now we can connect our AMS spool holders, and you'll notice that they're 2 different colors. There's a green and a yellow, and they correspond to the actual drive units here. And they simply just snap in place. We'll repeat the same for the opposite side. For our next step, we're going to need the bag with the PTFE tubes. We'll remove them out of here. So you'll notice on the PTFE tubes, there's 2 that are longer and 2 that are shorter. The side with this white connector is the side that actually goes to the extruder. You can also, at this point, remove the cable tie from the AMS unit. It simply slides off. The 2 shorter tubes go to location 1 and 2 on the left side of the AMS. The 2 longer tubes go to locations 3 and 4. Simply slide the tubes into the connector and give them a gentle tug to make sure that they don't pull out. This is what it looks like with all 4 tubes connected. Just give them all a gentle tug to make sure that they're seated in the connectors properly. Take the data cable and run the data cable through the white cable organizer and click it into place. And then the only step remaining is to connect all of your PTFE tubes to the connector on the extruder. If you're not using the AMS Lite unit, they include this clamp that mounts to the top of the printer and has an integrated spool holder. You would take the additional PTFE tube that came with the printer and run that to this connector and to the PTFE connector on the extruder. In this case, we are using the AMS Lite, so we don't need this. We'll just save this for a later date if we do decide to use it. One of the last remaining steps is to take the wire off of the AMS Lite and connect this connector to the back of the printer. On the back of the printer, you simply take this connector from the AMS Lite with the tab facing downwards. It doesn't matter which port you plug it into. I'm going to use the left side. Press it into place until it clicks. Now we're going to take our power cable. We're going to remove the plastic protective cover that was on the plug. We're gonna remove our cable tie, and then we will plug our power cable into the back of the printer. Make sure the printer is powered off before you go to plug this in. At this point, we can plug and power our printer on. You'll notice the power light came on, and on the AMS, the lights will be blinking. Once the printer powers up, you'll see the screen light up. We can hit start, select our language and region, and then we'll connect to Wi-Fi. After it's connected to Wi-Fi, what we want to do is take our Bambu Handy app and scan the QR code, and that will pair this with our Bambu account. After you scan that with your camera, it's going to ask you if you want to open it in the Bambu Handy app. We're going to click read and accept, and we're going to bind this printer to our existing account. You'll see login device success, and I can either rename this machine within the app or on Bambu Slicer. Our next steps are to calibrate the machine, and you'll notice that we're going to do motor noise cancellation, vibration compensation, auto bed leveling. It looks like it's going to be about 27 minutes, so we're going to click start. And this is going to go through all of the steps. It's going to make a lot of noise. You'll start noticing things moving. It's going to home all of the axes and do all of the calibrations to make sure that this functions 100% perfect. Now, at this point, after calibration and the firmware update, we have this message here. It's time to lubricate Y-axis guide rails, and the lubricating oil is included in the accessory pack. So the accessory pack is the little toolkit that it came with, and you want to make sure that you're using the right one. So there's lubricating grease, and that one has a black label on it, and there's lubricating oil. That's the one with the green, and they are much different. This one's almost like a toothpaste consistency. It's grease, and this one is an oil. You want to make sure you use the right one. Now, if you scan the QR code on the screen, it will give you step-by-step instructions on how to do that. Now, what you want to do to lubricate the Y-axis, which is this axis here, is slide the bed forward, lift up on the cover on the back like earlier in the video, and then we're going to slide our bed all the way back. Now, the reason why we lubricate these rails is because it's not like a traditional Ender 3 that has the rubber guide wheels. This is metal on metal, so we want to make sure that we keep this lubricated well. Now, you'll see that outer portion here, there's a shiny metal rail here. That is where we're putting our lubricant. We just want to put a little bit right on here. Not so much that it's dripping everywhere. We're going to do that on both sides. And then we'll do the same thing by sliding the bed forward, and we'll get the back portion. And then after we're done lubricating the rails, we just simply put the cover back in. Now on our screen, we just hit done. Now I'm going to use AMS Spot 2 just because it's easier to see. So all we do is simply slide this over, and then there's a button on each of the filament in feeds. We're going to press that in, and we're going to feed the filament from underneath. And you'll see it start to suck the filament in. Now we're just going to simply print a Benchy. Now before we print that, we want to make sure that we clean our build plate with some isopropyl alcohol. You want to make sure that you use at least 90%. I'll just go over it real quick like that. And then we're just going to select print files. And there's a bunch of stuff already loaded in here. I think we're just going to do this particular Benchy. So 21 minutes. Time lapse is off. Bed leveling's on. Dynamic calibration. Use AMS. Now if you don't know, Bambu Filament actually has an RFID tag, and the AMS will actually detect that tag. You can see it right here at my fingertip. And I did not select a color. Typically, like on the X1 Carbon or even on this printer, you have to select a color once you load it, and it automatically knows slot 2 is PLA and it's green. That's pretty cool. Select slot 2 and we'll hit print, and it's going to go through. It's going to play a little tune for you. It's going to zero out all the axes. You'll see it heating the print bed and the nozzle. We're just on standard speed, 100%. You do have a selection for different speeds, just like on the X1. Standard, Sport, Ludicrous, or Silent. We'll leave it on standard, and it's going to heat up both the bed and the nozzle to the predetermined temperature, and then it should start printing. Now the printer is going to purge the filament until it comes out of the nozzle. It'll give the nozzle a wipe. It's doing the dynamic calibration now. Now it's going through and doing the automatic bed leveling. All right, now it's printing the Benchy. As you can see, it's pretty darn fast. A heck of a lot faster than an Ender 3 or even the Elegoo. You know, there are some other bed slingers out there that are pretty fast, but for the quality and speed on this, I don't think you can beat the A1 combo. All right, 21 minutes, we have a Benchy. You can see the purge lines here. All right, let's take the Benchy off and check it out. Look at the quality on this. It's absolutely incredible. And compared to like like an Ender 3 or any of the other printers, I think this quality is absolutely amazing. No stringing, perfect layer lines. All right, so that wraps it up for this video. A1 combo, super awesome printer, great price, very capable printer for a bed slinger, super quiet, and I like it so much I actually bought 3 of them. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content just like this. See you in the next one.